Hello all, and welcome to Brawl for One, One for Brawl. This is not the extreme version, that'll be back in just a couple of weeks, but before we get into today's Brawl, I have some big announcements. So first of all, Kindness vs. Corona, week 15, about to be week 16, going great. But before I get into my second announcement, I just have a little short commercial and a big thank you for someone who has really been helping out for the Kindness vs. Corona cause. So here you go. Alright, so as you can see, I'm on the From Politics to Pastry Instagram page. So she has just helped out so much with the Kindness vs. Corona cause, baking us cookies once every 2 weeks for the Kindness vs. Corona deliveries. And here I am on one of her posts. If you check out her Instagram, every week she posts the products and pastries that she has available. This week, for example, lemon ricotta cookies with rainbow sprinkles. Tried them. They're super good. If you have a sweet tooth, you'll love them. Even if you don't, you will also love them. And also, this week, they have announced that they have merch. So don't only cop Theo Johnson merch. Now you can also cop From Politics to Pastry merch. So please do that. And even if you're not going to purchase the merch or anything like that, just send her a thank you DM. She definitely deserves it. And let's get back into the video. Alright, so my second big announcement honestly, I'm super excited about this, guys. It's the biggest project that I've ever done on this channel. It should be coming out next week. It is a short film that me and Charlie Sturdivant have been working on for a really long time, since a month or two ago. This has been, weeks upon weeks of planning, shooting, and editing, and we're almost done. And let me tell you, it's pretty freaking good. You're going to want to watch this. So be ready for that next week. I'll premiere it, I'd guess probably on Tuesday or Wednesday, but I don't know. But just be looking for that. And it will be coming out in 4K. So that's the highest quality I've ever had on this channel. So be getting ready for that. That movie is coming out next week. Now, let's get into Brawl for One. Today on Brawl for One, One for Brawl, we have a very big and topical issue. Which sports restart has been the best and most effective? This can be the most entertaining to watch, or even the one that's just the most like how it was before coronavirus. Well, let's get into our competitors in the weigh-in. Our first competitor is skillful, fast, and probably Russian or Canadian. I'm introducing to you hockey, the NHL. These guys are really great. They're really big, pretty nice too, and they're going to put their fight in today to prove that the NHL restart is truly the best restart. Next up, we have the sport that's probably the most popular in the entire world. And this specific league is, pretty prime time. You might even call it Premier. The Premier League. These guys are really skillful with their feet, and they're going to play hard to prove that the Premier League truly is the only number one of the sport restarts. So our third and final competitor is one that's recently been restarted, and there is one hugely famous mouse behind the success of this restart. Yeah, I'm talking about Mickey Mouse and the NBA restart in Orlando. The NBA, they've got, a lot of tall people, average height of like 6'6" or something. Really big, really tall. They got skill, they've got strength, they got everything they need to really come out with the win in today's brawl. So let's get into the first round. Alright, so for round one, I'm just going to start out with the person who most likely has the most experience, as they have already finished their season, and that is the Premier League. So Premier League, take it away for the first round. Thank you. So I just want to start out by saying that yes, the Premier League has already successfully finished their season, and it was amazing. We had a champion. It was great, and to be honest, it was almost exactly like how the regular sport was. Yes, we didn't have fans, and it was a little oddly quiet, but there were no weird 3D tracked things onto the field like basketball or something like that. And also, I mean, we didn't really change up any of the camera movements or anything like that, like both basketball and hockey. I mean, nobody wants the sport that is already going to be a little bit different because it's a restart to then be even more different because you have all sorts of weird camera angles. No, just keep it the same like we did. Follow our example. Nobody wants to see the little scooter thing in basketball. Why would I want to see the players who are already like 3 feet taller than me, you know, at an angle that makes them look even taller? Nobody wants to see that. And for hockey, I don't want a crane shot. I just want the regular old shot. It's too far away for me. It's too high. We did it right because we didn't change up more than we needed to. We kept it the same, and therefore that made it better than I think any of the other sports. Ooh, those are some good points there, Premier League. NBA, how are you going to respond? I would just start out by saying that we were one of the first sports to cancel our season, and that was heartbreaking. So I think fans were super excited to have us just even be back in the first place. So I think that puts us a few steps ahead. But also beyond that, I would say that yes, we've switched up the shooting angles and stuff like that, but it's creative. And unlike the NHL, we are still shooting most of our games with the regular camera angles. So yeah, we changed things up a bit, but I do think those extra camera angles can spice it up a bit and show highlights maybe in an even better light. Meanwhile, NHL I think did do it a little bit worse by adding in the crane shots in such a big way. I think it changed up the game a little bit too much for me, just not to my liking. And the 3D tracking that you mentioned, it's actually quite helpful to get sponsors in and to show home and away games, even when all the games are not at anyone's home. So I think it just makes it seem, a little bit closer to home. Very solid argument there, NBA. NHL, how are you going to reply? So the first point I would make would be about the close to home idea, and I think we really played to that by having all of our games in Toronto and Edmonton, both Canadian cities, very strong hockey spirit there. And yes, even though most of the teams are in the U.S., I think the Canadians do have a stronger hockey spirit, so I think that's why we put them up in Canada, plays to that closer to home idea. But just beyond that, I think the crane shots actually do look good, better camera angle, and plus, things are already changing up a little bit, so why not change them up a little bit more, you know what I'm saying? That makes sense to me. And also something else that we changed, we added the round robin tournament, which yeah was a little bit different, but I think it also spices things up and makes them more exciting. So yeah, that's it for me. Those are all some very good arguments, but in the end, NHL, I think what you argued about the red robin and the crane shots actually makes you a little bit too distant from before the restart, and for that reason, you will be eliminated after the first round. Alright, round 2, head-to-head. You both have 3 apples. Let's start up with the NBA. Thank you very much. So I would just say that, like most sports, the NBA is an experience both on television and live in person. But live in person is still, its own thing, its own big experience and a part of the sport, having fans there. And that's not possible right now, but I think we really made some big strides to get as close as possible. We have actual screens with Zoom meetings of fans from both sides at the game, and you can vote to cheer for your team. You have virtual cheer options, and all of these things really make it even more possible to really make it feel like you're there live in the game, and just makes it seem more normal when you're watching it on TV to have a fan base right there. And the Premier League just did not have any of those things. Ooh, that was a strong argument. Premier League, round 2, what's your response? Look, I would just say one thing in rebuttal to that. No, we didn't have fans, but we have such a huge stadium that it's difficult to do that. And anyway, we still did keep many things similar. We still had the same season structure and game structure and everything like that. So I think in the end, we were still very, very similar to how we were before the restart. Those were some very strong arguments there. But I would say in the end, NBA made a very strong argument there with the virtual fans. That was a very creative decision, and I think went to the favor of the league. So that'll be 2 apples gone for the Premier League. Before anyone does anything, a soccer catch. No. Dunked on again. I've done it again. He did it again. That's twice. Oh no. That's twice. Dunked on, soccer. I'm sorry, that's the KO blow right there. That don't even have hands, bro. You literally have feet for hands, bro. Dunked on. Literally, bro. I have feet for hands. Jeez, get out of my sight. NBA is the best restart. That's what I said. Yes. Okay, well, that's got to be the first time ever, but this one's finishing NBA 3 apples with a painful first time in Brawl for One history. Premier League -3. Well, I guess that's all for today's Brawl for One for Brawl. Remember, go support From Politics to Pastries. Buy some of those pastries. They're super good. And also, my big project is coming out next week. Thank you for watching.